Hello, everybody. My name's Anthony Day. I'm a blockchain partner at IBM, and I'm here to talk about how social media helped me to achieve both professional and personal growth. For the longest time, social media was more like a digital Rolodex, and LinkedIn specifically. It was a place to keep my contacts, to keep in touch with people, or to send messages to people whose emails I'd forgotten. I didn't post, I didn't tweet, I didn't even have a profile picture. I didn't want to be found. And then I got my big break. I got offered a role as the leader of a blockchain team that was small, super talented with some amazing people, but that was in desperate need of growth, of recognition, of being found in the market. And so we needed to reach out to thousands and thousands of people, colleagues across different geographies, potential clients, potential partners, potential hires. And we couldn't do that face to face. So we knew that social media was going to become a big part of what we could do. And it started with a lot of experimentation. We didn't know exactly where to start, what type of content was going to resonate. So we tried lots of different things: reposts, articles, slides, photos, selfies, videos, memes, even. And over time, we refined the model. We made it better. We looked at what was resonating. We looked at what people were interested in, what people were commenting on, how people were finding us and engaging with us, what people wanted to know more about. And the goal was always about education. It was about helping people understand, what were we doing? What was the type of work that we were able to do in blockchain? How was the technology being used? It was about sharing, not selling. One thing I've observed over the last few years is people don't read emails. There are more than enough ways of people to communicate with us over messengers, devices, internal emails, external emails. There's too much noise. But when people go to social media, they're there to engage. They're there to learn, to explore. And that's a great place to connect with someone if you're looking to give them something new, or to open their eyes to something they didn't know much about. And in our case, that was blockchain. I'd often find myself emailing or DMing a colleague on social media because I knew through work message channels, they just wouldn't reply. There was too much noise. So I would reach out to colleagues. I would reach out to people I hadn't met before. And over the course of this, I met a huge number of really passionate, really interesting, really smart, really talented people from across the world, from different settings, from academia, professional, public sector, all over. People who were prepared to share their ideas, people who were prepared to comment on particular topics. I would end up having late night conversations over particular difficult problems or challenges that I was facing, or particular domains of blockchain that I wanted to explore even further. And once you realize that there are people out there willing to commit to that or connect, it helps you think very differently about how you do your work. It's not about how you and your team or the smartest people around you in your immediate community can help. It's about, how can I bring together the best people from a bunch of different settings to solve a problem? And that really changes everything in terms of the way that you think about using technology or bring a group together. And that's what the blockchain community and other technology communities are all about. It's about working together. It's about driving towards consensus. It's about collaboration. And I don't know whether blockchain is a microcosm of social media or social media is a microcosm of blockchain. But either way, once you learn that that's possible, it can be really transformative to the way that you go to work. From an internal perspective, within the companies I've worked for, the eminence work that we do has been hugely impactful as well. I've had colleagues who've never met me before being able to say, oh, yeah, I saw that message you put out, or I saw that post, or congratulations on the project you just delivered. Without even having met me, without having shared an email, somehow we were able to reach internal colleagues and demonstrate success or demonstrate examples, or I want one of those type of reactions saying, oh, my client or in my industry, we've got that exact problem. Tell me how you solved it, or tell me how blockchain can work for me. And over the course of time, it wasn't floodgates, right? It wasn't a fire hose. We didn't suddenly have millions of people from all around the world saying, we need a blockchain. That's not what it's about. It's about demonstrating that you have a technology that can be used for digital transformation in the appropriate places that it should be used. And if you can show objective and clear examples, people can relate to that and then come and ask you. So I made 2 leaps this year. The first one was to join IBM. And the second one was to start my own podcast, Blockchain Won't Save the World. And it wouldn't have been without the support and guidance from people who I've met through the community, people who have their own podcasts, people who do their own shows, that I would have had the courage or the guidance to be able to start something like that. I've always had the desire to become a content creator. I always wanted to do something different, to share some of the messages, the stories in a way that was engaging, that was authentic. And podcasting was the way that I thought was the best way to do it. And so with a bit of help, I started that this year, and it's been a fantastic journey. I've been able to get some of the conversations that I've had privately brought into the public eye, to be able to share those stories or those experiences or those case studies with people who listen to the show. And of course, over the course of getting feedback and listening to comments and coming back to people who give us feedback, I've been able to find new shows, new content, and interview people who I would never have found otherwise. And so from a personal perspective, that's been hugely empowering. And I look forward to every episode I put out. I look forward to recording every episode because it's a new conversation. It's a new chance to change the narrative, to share stories that people may not have heard yet, and that can help push things forward. So what does this mean for you? Where can you start? I'm not saying take a great big grand step, launch your own podcast, create some sort of big eminent profile. I think it's about starting small. But there is a formula to this in terms of where you look for as a domain. Think about things that you enjoy. Think about things you know something about, and think about things that people want to hear more about. And where those three things intersect, there's a good chance you'll find your passion and something that you can honestly and authentically share content or become known for. Start small. Again, find your rhythm. It's about tweaking the model. Not everything is going to work all the time. Not everybody is going to engage with your content all the time, but keep at it. Keep trying different things and ask for feedback. Genuinely, the amount of comments, the amount of guidance that I've received over the years in terms of what people want to know more about, putting polls out that people want to respond to, what content should go into the podcast. There's plenty of people out there who are prepared to share their opinions. And once you've gathered some form of consensus, you can go with what you think is right. If it starts to feel like a chore, you probably haven't got the mix right. If you're waking up early in the morning saying, oh, I must put out this message, or I must put out this piece of content, or you're meticulously scheduling something for the 3 weeks ahead, it's probably not going to be right for you. Try to find a way to make it enjoyable, to be you, to be something that you're excited to do. And that way you're going to come across better in your messaging, and you're going to have a better impact with the people you engage with. Starting a podcast was a really exciting journey, and it's easier than you might think. With just a microphone, headset, and a few bits of open source software, you can get started. What I'd recommend is think about the content you want to put out. What style of show do you want to be? Are you about entertainment? Are you about education? Are you about sharing a particular perspective? Do you want it to be your show and you alone, or do you want to have guests? Do you want to have multiple guests all at once? Do you want to use video? There are people who do wonderful shows just straight from the mic. Get on there, record a show, put it straight on YouTube, job done. There are people who do microblogs, 1, 2, 3 minutes of content recorded on their phone every day. There are lots of different ways that you can engage. Some key learnings for me: plan your content ahead of time. It takes something in the order of 5 to 18 hours, depending on how diligent you want to be with your post-production, to record an episode. And that's quite a long time. Video can work, but you've got to make sure that you prepare well. And enjoy it. When you're talking on the mic, sound like you're excited. People won't see your face if it's a podcast. People are going to hear your voice. Be up tempo, be excited. Think about smiling when you record. Little things like that will make your show sound all the better, and make it authentic to you. Put in music, put in songs, put in stories, put in poetry, whatever it is that you think is going to make your shows interesting and exciting for you to put out. If you're not excited to make it, chances are the audience aren't going to be excited to listen. Keep experimenting and give it a try. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you find your community out there. And I hope that you find a way for social media to help you grow both professionally and personally. If you want to hear more about blockchain, come check out the Blockchain Won't Save the World podcast. And if you want to learn more, come find me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect, and I'm looking forward to sharing some ideas with you.